as a Floyd, I guess I didn't ever get to see this. Can Moids and chat confirm at 7 years old, did you get pulled aside and get told all men in history have been bad and therefore you are bad? Oh, wow. I don't know this guy. Am I supposed to know this guy? Mark Manson? Oh my. This guy wrote these books. I'm sorry. The type of people that read these books, I don't like them. So I've never read the book. Maybe the book is actually dope and he's a great person and a great author. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. He wrote this one. I feel like the most annoying people you know read this book or have been caught reading this book. Should we just take a little peek?
What has become popularized as the Manosphere define their message around anti-feminism. Women are ruining culture and society.
Well, feminism is ruining culture and society.
You're kind of look smaxed right now for your age group.
Thank you.
There's many men in the Manosphere that are spreading a 100% positive message. I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates.
Has feminism held men?
There are so many men spreading positive messages in the Manosphere space, and I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates. You mean the rest? CBS has decided to prosecute Andrew Tate, 39, with 7 further counts of 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges for offenses related to incidents indecent images of child and extreme pornography. Yeah, this was my doing. Obviously, you guys know, since according to Ethan, I did CPS.
Back, or has the Manosphere distorted what masculinity means for an entire generation? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of disagreeers. Today, we are diving into the Manosphere, feminism, and what being a high-value man actually means. Our guest today is a best-selling author who's made a career out of challenging the way men think about themselves. Mark Manson, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Are you ready to debate this circle?
I think so.
All right, Manosphere folks, are you ready to get into this? All right, let's get started.
Hi, I'm Mark Manson. I'm the #1 New York Times bestselling author and a former men's dating and relationship coach. And today, I'm surrounded by the Manosphere. My first surrounded claim is that the Manosphere is a billion-dollar business that profits off keeping men angry and insecure.
If you would like to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's good to meet you.
What's up, man?
Jake.
Nice to meet you.
So I think it's important to ask first, what do you mean by the Manosphere?
I would say it is the subculture of men's dating and life advice that is particularly identifiable by its sexist and traditional beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, feels a little bit no true Scotsman-y. If you define the category as being sexist, then from the category moving out from there, we're going to have a problem. Because I'm not a sexist. And so if you want to say that, like, if you're in the Manosphere, that means you're sexist, or no true...
What? You told him to define it. He defined it. You can say, I disagree with the definition. I think that blah, blah, blah. What?
True member of the Manosphere isn't sexist. Like, that's not a productive...
So how do you define it?
I think the Manosphere are people who focus heavily on men's issues and are trying to instruct men on how to lead better lives, who are trying to fulfill a role that maybe a father should have or maybe can't because of a variety of societal environments. And they might do that well, they might do that poorly. And I think the discussion is about how well the sort of figures that are gaining popularity are doing that.
Right.
And maybe some of them might be sexist and some of them might be telling true things. And there's kind of a variety of mixed bags on this. But before I move on, does that seem like a reasonable starting point for what the Manosphere is?
That would be a broader definition than I would give to it.
Well, you defined it as sexist, and so obviously mine's much broader. Like,
yes.
I'm not even in your definition.
I don't understand, like, what the purpose is of this guy's dialogue tree. Yeah, well, does this definition that you obviously disagree with seem more reasonable? Obviously not. He gave a different definition. What? Wouldn't it make more sense to ask him why he thinks it? Okay. Wouldn't it make more sense to ask him why he thinks that the Manosphere is sexist and then to try and debunk it and then say, this is why I think my definition is this?
That's not.
And I am in your definition.
Right.
So I would say what has become popularized as the manosphere, and maybe my reading is off on this, but it's stuff like the Tate brothers, Myron Gaines, Harrison Sullivan, all the guys featured in the recent documentary that came out, like that kind of brand and flavor of men's advice. And I'll say this too. So back when I was in this industry, and I was giving men advice professionally, there was a pretty clear delineation between the guys who were just genuinely like, hey, let me help you try to get a date, like, or let me help you try to make.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, like help you get a raise at work, right?
Yeah,
and
Go
there
to
was
the
a whole
gym, get stronger,
there was
be
a
more
whole
confident.
subculture of men who really very much define their message around anti-feminism. Women are ruining culture and society.
Feminism is ruining culture and society. That doesn't mean all women are, but it
Okay.
does mean feminism is. And I think it's an issue to conflate the idea of like, oh, women, women,
Sure.
versus the philosophy of feminism.
Sure.
Because you could have male feminists who I think are often more destructive for culture than female feminists are.
Right.
And you could have women who are not feminists. And so on both ends, I think that's a conflation not to make.
Okay. So my claim specifically is about the men in this space who their primary message towards men is that of anger, that of selfishness, empowerment through intimidation and domination of others.
I think there's a lot of different things there. I
Sure.
think there are a lot of things that you should be angry about.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you should be a victim. And I think that just because a certain society has decided that the future is female, has decided to instruct men from a very young age, has removed fathers from the home, has used various incentive programs to encourage single motherhood rates, has made it such that boys are told from age 7 that the fundamental way to view history is a patriarchy. And because other men used to be bad, which I think is even debatable a claim on its own, that you
It's a debatable claim that other men used to be bad. Maybe he meant to say like all men ever? What?
therefore are bad as well. And I think that there's a lot of things that you should be angry about.
What? That's not none of what did this guy I guess maybe they pulled all the boys aside when I was 7 years old in elementary school and gave them this talk as a Floyd. I guess I didn't ever get to see this. Can Moids and Jack confirm at 7 years old, did you get pulled aside and get told all men in history have been bad and therefore you are bad? Oh, okay, it's real. Okay. Yeah, I guess I missed that part of like second, third grade. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And if you have a young boy who's going through that, if you have gone through that, these are things you should be angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish.
Right.
Same thing, idea of like, you shouldn't intimidate and you shouldn't lead with force, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be a dominating figure. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't lead with a positive masculine leadership of what that is. It is a dominant. And if you have a young boy who's going through that, if you have gone through that, these are things you should be angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish.
Right.
Same thing, idea of like, you shouldn't intimidate and you shouldn't lead with force, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be a dominating figure. And I think the good manosphere figures, I mean, you named a couple of them, whether they're good or bad, I don't want to mention the personal lives of those people, but the message of like, shut up, go to the gym. I'm sorry your life is hard. And
Right.
you should be angry about that and you should fight back, but you need to channel that into, talking to that pretty girl anyway.
Yeah.
And being strong anyway.
I want to make 2 points. One is that I think you've just done the same thing with feminism that you accuse me of doing with the manosphere, right? Which is taking some of the most extreme claims and then classifying the entire school of thought based on those extreme claims. We can get into the nuts and bolts
Well,
of
I'm
that,
taking what's taught in elementary schools.
which is some extreme stuff. And
The extreme manosphere stuff isn't.
What? Can I just go back for 1 second?
And because other men used to be bad of things that you're angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish. I mean, you shouldn't be a dominating figure. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't lead with a positive masculine leadership of what that is. It is a dominant. And if you have a young boy who's going through that, if you have gone through that, these are things you should be angry about. That doesn't mean you should be selfish.
Right.
Same thing, idea of like, you shouldn't intimidate and you shouldn't lead with force, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be a dominating figure. And I think the good manosphere figures, I mean, you named a couple of them, whether they're good or bad, I don't want to mention the personal lives of those people, but the message of like, shut up, go to the gym. I'm sorry your life is hard. And you should be angry about that and you should fight back, but you need to channel that into, talking to that pretty girl anyway.
Yeah.
And being strong anyway.
I want to make 2 points. One is that I think you've just done the same thing with feminism that you accused me of doing with the Manosphere, right? Which is taking some of the most extreme claims and then classifying the entire school of thought based on those extreme claims. We can get into the nuts and bolts
Well,
of
I'm
that,
taking what's taught in elementary schools.
which is some extreme stuff. And
The extreme manosphere stuff isn't taught in elementary schools.
I understand
The
that.
future is female. You see people wearing that in their
The women are wearing the future is female shirts, and it's bothering me.
elementary schools.
I understand.
Can we agree that's an extreme position?
I do.
Is he serious? What does he think the future is female means? Does he think it's like a dog whistle that women are going to kill all the men on Earth or something?
Agree with that.
Okay.
So, like, I would agree
Why
with
would you agree with that? Okay, sorry.
you on that probably shouldn't be in an elementary school.
Yeah.
This
Funded by the state.
Yes. The second point, there's the advice, and then there's the packaging, right?
Yes.
What you just said, right? Get your life together. Go to the gym. Take care of yourself. Like, work
Amen.
on
Yes,
yourself.
sir.
Right? Like, these are all great things. My point would be that you can get that advice in 100 other different places.
Debate pervertry allows you to agree on their single point to explain their lack of depth. I mean, no. What you're describing is like biting bullets to move on in a conversation or to make progress in a conversation, but this is not a bullet that he needed to bite. It's just a stupid bullet. You just say, well, I don't agree, but it doesn't matter because, I remember taking radical feminism class in 3rd grade. I remember learning about feminism. Everybody read Andrea Dworkin when they were 7, right? You guys also had that experience? Yeah, obviously. Oh, you guys learned it at 5. Wow. Yeah. I guess I was just like a slower student. We didn't get it until I was 7. Yeah. Oh, my 3rd grade teacher read us Angela Davis. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Without the toxic packaging.
But that doesn't go
attached to it.
viral. People don't see it. The media
Totally.
suppresses it. The environment, if you want to get the message out, you have to go extreme. And I wish we didn't have that. And if we want to talk about how we should restructure the systems of YouTube and everything, that would be great. And I think we're trying to do that now, trying to get this out.
How is do you have to go extreme? I mean, like, so I'll give an example of somebody who I do think is a healthy figure in this space, which is Chris Williamson. He is like the 8th biggest podcast in the world right now. Like, he's not extreme. He's not saying all the same shit that like Andrew Tate is saying or Myron Gaines is saying, right? It's like, I have an audience of over 10 million people. I'm not saying any of this shit. I don't think you have to be extreme to get it. And I worry that there's some good messages are being attached to so many poison pills that a lot of young men don't know how to differentiate between the good advice and the toxic advice, that it's leading them down a bad path.
There certainly is some toxic advice out there. But
I mean, okay, I'm going to say a couple things really fast. Unlike Hassan should be the one doing this. No. I mean, well, actually, Mehdi Hassan should be the one doing this. I just want to see Mehdi Hassan destroy people. I'm sorry, it's fun. Let me just be honest about one quick thing, which is, okay. I think a lot of people who turn to the Manosphere stuff think that it works because they stop feeling sorry for themselves and they actually try to improve their life. And it accidentally makes them believe in all of the trash. There's other factors to this as well. For example, if you have no luck with women and then you follow this Manosphere shit and then suddenly you have good luck with women, you might start to attribute all of your success to everything that the Manosphere people are saying. But the reality is that there's so many different aspects to that. So like, for example, when you're going out and dating and you don't hate women, you're trying to select for a person who likes you and they're trying to select for a person who likes them. You're trying to find 2 compatible personalities that also have, similar life goals and are also attracted to each other and, can both make each other happy, right? When you are acting like a douchebag Manosphere bro, you are now selecting for women that don't care about your personality. And if you're telling them if you're on a date and you're acting like a Manosphere bro and you're saying, well, I don't know, are you a low value woman? You're immediately signaling to normal women that you're a freak, and you're signaling to not normal women that you are the same type of insane as them. So now instead of selecting for other normal people, you're selecting for other insane people. So when you communicate, I am looking for a transactional relationship with a woman where I get sex and I get social marketplace value by being with a woman, that the only person that would be interested in that is the type of person that's like looking for a transactional relationship where they get money in exchange for being your arm piece. Like you're going and you're self-selecting for the worst people. So you might suddenly start seeing success in the dating sphere, but you're getting like low quality garbage. You're selecting for people that suck because you're only attracting now people that suck. And I think that's like, and then it like, the problem is that that mentality ends up creating this like feedback loop where you're like, see, women do suck because all the women I attract suck, which means all women suck. So yeah. Well, serious question, why is there a non-0% of women that enable this? Are there really that high amount of insane women, by your own words, to support this ecosystem? Well, I think the most important thing to recognize is that women are people and some people suck. Because, you know, women are not like butterflies and angels and unicorns. Some insane women exist, and because women are people, some people suck. And some of those people are going to be women and some of those people are going to be men, right?
The idea that that's
also, I wouldn't say that they enable the behavior. It's just that some women suck. So they exist in a space where there have always been men that have not ironic, but comedically are hypergamous in that they're trying to trade up or not find someone that's looks matched or personality matched or whatever. They're trying to find something that makes them look good. And so they end up only finding those, like, those people have always existed regardless of whether or not women have ever sucked. Like, that's, anyways.
The primary thing that people are learning from these. I don't think that's true. If you're gone down the rabbit hole and you're watching, 6 hours of Myron Gaines and 4 hours of Andrew Tate and you're watching Clav streams all
Girl, what are you doing here? Get out.
the time, these people, that's not the majority of people who are involved in the Manosphere.
Totally.
That's not what's happening. The things that you're getting from these people are saying, you know what, maybe you should put more interest into your look. It's not everything, but obviously your look matters. And maybe you should go to the gym. It's not everything, but obviously the gym matters. All of these messages may be packaged with a more extreme idea to it.
Sure.
But the extremeness is how you go viral. And someone like Chris Williamson and someone like yourself, these are great people, but you guys aren't being the number one talked about person on the internet. You guys aren't changing the fundamental.
Yeah, but then at this point, you're talking about like a risk versus reward. Like how many men's lives are being improved versus how many of them are getting sucked into this like self-fulfilling prophecy of like hating women and only attracting women that suck and then hating women even more and so on and so forth.
Way that people view our culture. And I wish you could.
Your looks only matter in the sense that you shouldn't look like an unwashed person. Well, I think that they can also communicate other things, right? Like, personally, if I see that a man is into fashion, I know that if I ask them for advice, because I'm looking for like a best friend in a partner, I want to ask, well, what do you think? Like, do you think this one's better or this one? And I don't want like, oh, it's all the same, just wear whatever. Like, I want someone who cares about fashion to the same extent that I care about it, which admittedly is not that much. Like, I'm really like not a very fashionable person. I want to get into fashion the same way I want to get into everything because I like to experience life. But I want someone who has that same openness to experience, right? That like, same thing with like doing skincare. It's like, well, I want someone who has the same openness to experience as I do and that they care. And they're like, oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, we should. And then like, they can improve my life and they can enrich my life. Improve is the wrong word. Enrich my life by being like, dude, I saw this Korean product and it looks really good. Do you want to try it together? Like I want a best friend. I want to be with a best friend. I don't want to date someone who's just like, it's like, eh. So it's about like the personality behind all of these things. It's about why are you doing these things? And this is why the Manosphere stuff doesn't work. It's because the reason that they're doing all of those things is because they fucking suck. And they think that like, this is like, you just have to put enough tokens and enough things and then you can get bitches. Instead of, no, I want to do this because I want to improve my life in this way. And I want to get into this and I want to try this. Because I'm telling you guys, like I have been with people who are just like, they don't really take care of themselves that much. Because I don't care about like the most superficial level. Like it doesn't really matter as long as you like shower. And it was just very like, it was a very depressing experience because it's like, oh, like let's go thrifting together. And they were like, I don't want to. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, do you want to do like face masks together? And it's like, I don't want to. It's like, oh, okay. Do you want to go get like a manicure done? We don't have to get like nail polish. Just have someone like, massage your hand and then fix your cuticles and stuff. No, I'm good. It's like, oh, you don't want to do anything? You just Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll just do this stuff by myself. All right. That's cringe. That's cringe, I guess.
Good. But
Right.
the internet isn't set up for that.
We're also not doing it because I don't think it helps. So, for example, a Movember survey from 2025 found that young men who regularly consume manosphere content or masculinity influencers were much more likely to report feelings of worthlessness, extreme sadness, and extreme anxiety.
That's backwards causation. It's the people who are feeling extreme worthlessness are looking for someone to teach them what to do.
You don't see that same correlation show up in other.
These correlations were not given a definitive causal relationship by the study. It's so funny. Let's be real. You were looking for someone who'd play Valorant 24/7. You don't even know me, bro. What the hell? I didn't even like Valorant. CS is so much more fun. What the hell? Who are you? What type of chatter are you?
Self-help genres, though.
Well, that's how self-help genres don't help almost always. They're almost always feel-good nonsense. If you're told you're good the way you are, you can do whatever you need, you're a magic special person, that's the kind of thing that someone who is looking for that kind of experience.
Right.
The person who is feeling bad needs someone to tell them, yeah, you are feeling bad. And you need to grow up and you need to get strong. And so the correlation...
But why does it need to, like, sorry, I just don't think that the trade-off is worth it for, like, the extra... He's saying, well, it gives you more exposure to be extreme, but think about all the people whose lives are ruined by hating women because their favorite Manosphere podcaster told them to hate women. Like, I understand the idea, which is you should try in life. Like, I feel very strongly about, like, if you're not going to try, if you're not going to live while you're alive, then why are you living? And that can mean anything to any group of people. It doesn't have to mean, why don't you have a six-pack? Why don't you have that? It doesn't have to mean anything. It just means, like, do you approach life with general openness and a desire to enrich your life? And you'll find more success, both just in terms of happiness and in terms of, like, finding other people, romantic or otherwise, if you also approach life this way. Right? And so, like, it's just... There are people that say that stuff, but why should we promote people who say that stuff with a bunch of extra baggage that ruins people's lives and makes their lives worse?
This is holding you down, and it's
Well,
not,
it is. We just agreed that elementary schools are trying to oppress men at the age of 7.
Is that the Matrix?
The state, funded by the state, of course.
See, this is why this was a stupid bullet for him to bite. The elementary schools are trying to oppress men.
It's the Matrix.
Is this a federal policy to tell 7-year-olds that the future is a woman?
It's in every elementary school. We just agreed on that.
I did
It
not
is literally not. It wasn't in my elementary school. What the hell?
agree it's in every elementary school.
Okay, not every single one.
I agree
but
it's in some, and it's probably the doing of certain far left teachers and educators.
What are these bullets you're biting, bro? It's like if Neo couldn't dodge bullets.
begins in the far left universities, which are funded by the state and are structured from the top down to oppress.
Dude, I went to, like, liberal New York City schools, and never once did I ever learn about any of the things that he's talking about. There was never any teacher that said the future is female. Never. I never saw any of this shit. I don't know what the he's talking about.
So
The structure isn't natural.
to bring it back to my point,
Yeah.
which is that you just made the point that a lot of self-help advice is bullshit.
Oh, almost all of it, yeah.
Garbage, right? Let's take, like, The Secret, right? Law of attraction.
I mean, I don't think necessarily a lot of self-help is garbage. I think a lot of self-help books are garbage, but a lot of self-help is actually not that bad. Like, the advice is generally pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I try to do a little bit of this on my stream where I'm like, yeah, consider, go to a thrift store and get some, like, cool clothes that stand out a little bit that you like. Put things in your closet that you really like, right? Like, do things that, I don't know, I feel like it's cool. Maybe I'm too much of an optimist and I like people too much. I don't think so. I think it's only improved my life. And I feel like the more misanthropic I was, the more depressed I was. And the more love I had for other people, the more pleasure I had living life. Like, I had more joy wanting to do things that would, that would let me experience other people's joys and other people's lives and things that other people, and
action stuff. Do you agree that that's kind of ridiculous? Because I do.
Law of attraction, I'm not sure exactly how that works. I haven't heard
It's
this
like
one.
if you just believe that you deserve something, the universe will give it to you.
Oh yeah, that's nonsense.
Okay.
But it is the case that you could fake it till you make it, and if you act as though you have it, you might be more likely to get it.
Perfect. So we agree on that. So that's a perfect example of what's actually like kind of a good piece of advice, but then it's packaged in this ridiculous cosmological, like, oh, the universe's energy is going to serve you what you deserve and all this shit, right?
It's almost
The Secret is like barely a self-help book, okay?
the health and wealth gospel, which is
Right.
a violation of the the Christian heresy, basically.
But that gets millions of people to start focusing more on their goals and dreams. So my argument is that the Manosphere is doing the same thing. It has all of this ideology around the matrix and the system is oppressing you and you should be angry and all this.
Well, you should be.
So get up and clean your room and go to the gym.
Yes.
So it's good advice packaged in this like.
And I also disagree that you should be angry about those things. I think the way that you should view it is always like positive. I think you should be like, yeah, sometimes life sucks. And I'm grateful for the fact that like, hey man, at least I have this going for me, or I have this going for me, or I have this going for me. Like, unironically, for example, if you don't deal with any chronic illnesses, you should consider that it's like almost the anti-oppression Olympics, where it's like, or like the anti-poverty Olympics, where you can think about it, it's like, wow, like I'm so grateful, like this is something I don't have to deal with. And I should really, like, you never know when you might become disabled or when you might start dealing with chronic illnesses. And if you have like full control and it's just never something you have this privilege to never have to think about your physical pain or body or whatever, and you get to enjoy certain things that other people don't, shouldn't you be grateful and be happy and be like, wow, like, yeah, today has been a really shitty day and it just really sucked. But, other people out there are dealing with so much worse, like, or they're dealing with so much more pain, or they're dealing with so much more suffering. I should really be happy. I have friends that I care about. I have family that I care about. Maybe you have a job that you like, or you have pets that you love, or you just went to like a convention, you got a really cool poster, like, and you're going to deal with some hardship, and that's okay. You should enjoy all the things that you get to enjoy. Right? They can't do that though when they have no empathy. Well, I mean, I think empathy is just trained, right? No, it's not a fallacy. This is not to the two chatters that said fallacy of relative privation. No, because it's not one that's telling you to ignore problems. I'll just read out the fallacy. Dismisses a valid argument or complaint by pointing out a more significant issue. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should recognize that you are so privileged in certain aspects, and you should really live life to the maximum that you can every single day because of that. It's not about saying, well, you shouldn't care about that because someone has it worse. Wrong. Incorrect. Completely incorrect. Not what I'm suggesting at all. That's just dialectic thinking chatter. Hello? Yeah, I don't understand. No, for real. One chatter said, I was hit by a semi-truck last year and I took my healthy body for granted. I was very lucky with minimal injuries, but I'm thankful for everyone, thankful that I made it and chronic pain wasn't as bad as it could be. People like this can't see the good in the world. Because it's like, damn, like, and you kind of get a small experience of this, or like you get a small taste of this when you get sick. When you're sick and you're like, oh, I feel so bad. I can't do anything. I can't play games. I can't read my favorite book. I can't do anything. And when you're healthy again, you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm going to go swimming today. Like, it's very easy to forget all the things that are letting you enjoy life, or that could be letting you enjoy life. Not to say that people who are disabled can't enjoy life, or that people who deal with chronic illnesses can't. Obviously not. Because there's always stuff that can be mitigated. And in an ideal society, we would have the healthcare that helps people live life to the fullest despite chronic pain, despite disabilities, etc. Like a friend of mine who has really bad TMJ, like chronic pain from like these muscles, she can get Botox to like put those muscles to sleep to make the chronic pain lessen. I think it's TMJ. Am I mistaken about the name? Yeah, TMJ, it's the hinge connecting your jawbone to your skull. It's commonly used to describe TMJ disorders, conditions that cause pain and stiffness in the jaw joint and the muscles that control chewing, speaking, and yawning. And it also like causes pain everywhere in your head. Like it can cause ear pain and head pain and give you headaches. And it just like, obviously your head is just the central point. So in an ideal world, we would have the healthcare where people can just go and get those treatments and at least like help a little bit, right? So I don't want anything I'm saying to be like, yep. And because people with chronic pain never get to do anything, you should. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should recognize all the ways that, you know, you think about all the things that you get to enjoy and really enjoy those to the maximum and demand more. And demand more. We should have better healthcare. We have enough money in this country to have better healthcare. We should have housing for people. We should have infrastructure that doesn't fucking create sinkholes. Like, you should be grateful for the things that you get to enjoy in life, whether those are things that are out of your control or in your control, and also demand more. We're the richest country in the world in history, if you're American, and people can't even live with dignity in this country. Like, it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. So I'm not saying be grateful and never ask for anything else. Fuck no. Fuck no. I'm saying you should always be grateful for what you do have, because you never know how long you're going to have that thing. And also, we should have more. We should have more for the people that give their lives to this country. And by lives, I don't mean like veterans or whatever. I mean like who break their backs for this country. The labor force that literally breaks their backs. I think what's really sinister is that while trying to be grateful is definitely helpful, and there is a period where some people have to get there emotionally, and the Manosphere captures men during this process and twists the reason. Yeah, and it's just like sad, right? Because it's like, it shouldn't be the case that people feel angry at the world because life is unfair. Because life is unfair to like lots of people all the time, everywhere, right? So building this like resentment for the world, it's just not going to put you somewhere. Like, that road doesn't go anywhere positive. Yeah, the hate, resentment, and anger is just going to make you gross at the end. Yeah, and you should instead recognize, like, man, you know, wow, I live in the first period of time, which is rapidly declining, where you don't have to die because your body doesn't like peanuts, right? Like, if you have a peanut allergy, you should... Like, if I had a peanut allergy, I would be so fucking happy that out of all of the time periods I could have been fucking born in, I was born in the one where we have fucking EpiPens. Holy shit. Fuck, dude. Oh my God. Out of all the periods of time that we've lived in, where, you know, fucking syphilis would fucking kill you, this is the one time where maybe it won't, unless they're trying to change that, so enjoy it before it's gone. I'm so happy I wasn't born in the Middle Ages. That shit sounded like it sucked. Dude, imagine living in France when they used to throw poop buckets out the window. Like, right before the bubonic plague. And you're just like walking down the street and someone just threw some fucking poop on you. Can you imagine? It just sucks because conservatives will take that idea and they'll be like, and that's why you should be grateful and never ask for anything else, you greedy socialist. And it's like, what the fuck? Hell no. No, ask for more. Literally, the richest country on the planet. We have billions of dollars to burn on killing infants in the Middle East, but we don't have enough money so people can have healthcare. Fuck you. Literally, fuck you. It's just about, like, managing, like, your mental. What happened to John? Oh, he drank some questionable water. Imagine fighting a cave bear for a home. Yeah. Getting one shot by a puddle is crazy, right? You're just being too selfish. Think about the shareholders, please. Yeah.